Hello and welcome everybody. This is Jörn from Startuprad.io. And of course, I do have a guest here who has an office in the cool neighborhood of Frankfurt, the area around the central station, the so-called Bahnhofsviertel. And therefore you will hear some sound because there's a lot of construction going on. You will hear a few sirens. I hope it doesn't come through that much. Nonetheless, please forgive us. So, can you briefly introduce yourself here?
Hi, my name is Philip from Wearable Life Sciences or Antelope.club. I am in my 40s, live in Frankfurt right now, 3 kids, and live and breathe Antelope.
For everybody who just sees this video, they are not aware that we have been doing interviews with your company, not you personally before, because you have a co-founder, Kai, and we did together with him the world premiere, which aired as an audio-only podcast in May 2015. And we're here because you've come a long way since, right? But before we talk about that, can we just talk about what you did before, because you're a serial entrepreneur, right?
That's true. So after my MBA from University of Hamburg, I started as a consultant, consulting insurance and bank companies in implementing new software systems, object-oriented. I was the business part, trying to get out of the customer what they want and then translating it into specifications and building these systems. In 1999, a friend of mine built real estate projects in Hamburg. I was one of the first employees. Really fantastic fun, one of the first office buildings in Hafen City in Hamburg. But seeing these 2 guys, these founders, that ignited the wish to do my own thing. It was 1999. 2 friends of mine and I founded the first online car dealership worldwide, Get Your Car. We actually sold pretty many cars worldwide as well. Sold this company to Sixt later on. Within Sixt, I had different roles on new projects again. One was selling cars via teleshopping, for example. Fantastic.
How did this work out?
We had 24 cars and we sold them in one go.
Awesome.
We even had one grandmother buying a car from this nice salesperson for her graduating grandchild. So that was really quite an experience. So you think you can do new things if you try them.
Sure.
After a while, I had the feeling again to do something new. So with a partner again, I founded an online rental car brokerage, M-Broker. We basically rented cars around the Mediterranean to a German tourist. Good business. After a while, it was clear that it won't go ballistic, but was a solid business. I sold my stake to the other shareholders and had something really exciting on artificial intelligence. We based a travel website. So the claim was, your journey will find you. So you tell us, I'm Jörn, I'm 40 years old, I like to kite surf and I don't want to spend over 1,500 euros. And then you could also enter what your girlfriend wants to do. And we would select, based on algorithm, the perfect match for your travel. That site worked very well. The booking site did not, because we generated too little interest per supplier. And that's why we shut down business. Afterwards, I, for the first time, did something technical. I met a biologist.
Actually, to me, artificial intelligence sounds pretty technical. But
okay, wrongly phrased. For the first time, I did hardware.
Okay, here we go.
So, and finding out hardware is hard, as we still notice. We developed an alternative propulsion system for ships based on the fluke of a whale. So a flapping foil and very environment friendly, not disturbing the soil, a lot more efficient. We did some samples and prototypes raced on Ulster with the first ever prototype we built.
We should tell them it's in Hamburg. It's like a river in
Okay,
Hamburg.
the Lake Ulster is basically a river in Hamburg. That's where I'm originally from Hamburg, so that's why we did it there. We have a patent for one thing, the flapping foil, but also for a biomagnetic muzzle. Because in nature, there are no rotating movements, there are only contracting movements. So we implemented this into a machine with okayish results, but finding out that shipping industry is slow. Just a couple of years ago, the last ships out of World War I were put out of service. So the renewal cycle was too long for us to wait.
Talking about long sales cycle, huh? Okay, yep. Okay.
But this brought me a line with hardware or reduced barriers that I had before. Hardware is hard, but doable. I think if you study, find the right people, the right network, you can pull it off. We then, now comes the transition to antelope. A couple of years ago, I found out that I have access to a swimming pool. I'm not a very good swimmer, so I Googled swim practice. And instead of finding swim practice, I found Lake Zurich Swim Marathon. From Rapperswil to Zurich, 26 Ks. And that sounded like fun. So I need to enter. I entered. And after 10 Ks, they had to pull me out of the water because I was exhausted. I just couldn't do it anymore. A year later, the organizers contacted me again, asking, all right, you probably want to do this and get it off your bucket list now. You tried once, you have to finish it. All right, I do it again. Now we enter Kai, an old friend of mine who has built electromuscle stimulation micro studio chain in Frankfurt. Said, all right, Philip, last time you tried, you didn't do it. Let's try electromuscle stimulation. So that's what we did. We had a specific training program once a week, electromuscle stimulation, 2 times a week swimming, over roughly 3 months. So not a long time to prepare, but I finished. 12 hours consecutive swimming. You're not allowed to touch the boat. You keep on going freestyle, one after another. And I did it. I was surprised. Everybody was surprised. So we figured there's really a lot more that you can do with electromuscle stimulation than just building your physique. You can really change the potential of what you can do. Bringing us to our slogan, your limit is not your limit. I think electromuscle stimulation can just push you a little bit more to do more than you think you can do, that you're capable of.
And just out of curiosity, how long did it take you to recover after 12 hours consecutive swimming, like 2 days, 3 weeks?
There's no scientific proof. That's the disclaimer. But I find out that with preparing with electromuscle stimulation, your muscles, I have the personal feeling, based on a sample of one of me, that you recover a lot faster. This Sunday, I competed in the Ironman in Hamburg. So again, only preparation was trying prototypes and golden samples and making sure that things are working. So no real training. That prepared me well for 4 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling. I've not been on a bike for the last 5 years. But so you can do that from 0 to 180, basically. Running is a different matter. After 10 Ks, so you do 4 laps at the end, a whole marathon. After 10 Ks, all right, let's stop. Because running, you have the impact, and that's something you have to prepare for with impact. So running, you can only train, my feeling, while running. But having said that, I finished around 9 o'clock on Sunday. Monday morning, I took the first train at 7 o'clock and was perfectly all right. No muscle ache, not feeling exhausted. The same was true with Lake Zurich. So the day after, everything was back to normal and really loving to compete in races. Prior to myself being exposed to electromuscle stimulation, recovery times, especially if you don't train that much, are a lot longer. This race, so now to continue this story, that brought us, Kai and me, there's something we can do. It's an opportunity. And by chance, we had an engineer who wanted to do something similar, and he needed an employer. Well, that's a sign. So we founded immediately Wearable Life Science. The first employee being our still with us, our lead developer. And from that moment on, we built one prototype after another, iterating and bringing it forward. One of the prototypes you tested already. That was still different. We had our own knitting design, custom-made electrodes. We basically, when we started, we thought this is easy. Electromuscle stimulation has been around for 60 years. We just picked the components, built the system, and off we go. We had to find out that we really had to build every single component from scratch. Some needed to be invented in the first place. A lot of the materials we use today weren't even there 3 years ago. So it's a really cutting-edge technology. And the better we do our job, the less you see it.
And which part of this suit did you actually invent yourself? What components?
So it's 3 basic components. One is software. Of course, we wrote the app ourselves for operating everything. Hardware, we rely on basic components. Some components are custom-made, especially the boosting part of getting this normal battery pack to the high voltage you need to get through the resistance of your skin. That's custom-made. That's something we came up with. Of course, the whole layout of the PCB is something we designed in-house. The whole booster, the package, that it's small, reliable, the connection, now coming from the booster to the textile, the connection is something we came up with for ourselves. It needed to be flexible, reliable, easy to use, safe. I think we figured out how to do this. Then the textile, it's our own knitting pattern that we developed, that it fits tightly. It has to be the tighter, the better the electrodes fit. But the tighter, the tougher it is to get on and off. Especially for the two of us, that's not an easy mission.
I remember when I had to get out the last time, it took me quite some time. And especially you had to make your skin a little bit wet before. With the first one I tried. And so when you have this textile clinging to your body and it's very tight, it takes some time to get out. It's an additional workout.
No, but totally true. These are for wearables, that are the 3 challenges. To do one prototype is easy. To build it in a way that you can get it on and off without help is not that easy because it clings to you. The next one, if you do a workout, and our textiles are made for workout, Antelope is built to do sport in it. That's something, the sweat is not really, it's different from person to person. Sweat is different. It's aggressive. You have to build for sweat. And since you sweat, of course, and you do sport, you want to wash it afterwards. So it has to be machine washable. These are the 3 challenges we faced. We came up with a design with a lot of zippers, making it easy to get on and off without help. So that's good. We developed our own material for the electrodes, reducing the need for an added electrolyte. So typically, at least in the summer, or if you're young and you do some sport, you do not need to add water or something like this. We eliminated that. Some circumstances, it's winter, it's dry, you have dry skin. You need to do that in order to make it work fast. Otherwise, you need to do a warm-up. And the cable connecting the electricity, the booster to the electrode itself, is something we custom-made as well.
I assume those cables are the ones that remain in the textile when you wash it, and the booster you remove?
Totally true. The booster is easy to remove. It is removable from the outside. That's a safety feature as well. So if something happens, you need to take that call. You can just cut away the booster and you're off of electricity. And you can only turn it on when all magnetic buttons, it's a magnetic connection, when they're all connected, then you can turn it on.
Okay. We'll also refer in the show notes in YouTube where we put this, and maybe as an audio-only podcast on Startuprad.io. We'll have in the show notes the link to our first interview we did, 2015. You can see some pictures in me. Disclaimer, I was weighing a little bit more at this time in the suit, and it really did make me sweat. But now talking a little bit about this success story, because you did some pretty cool things right now, and there's also a very special reason your co-founder Kai is not here right now.
Yep. In 2015, we won the ISPO Brand New Award. That was the first signal that we are out there.
And for everybody who doesn't know it, can you tell us a little bit about it?
ISPO is the biggest sports fair worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And on ISPO, each year, newcomers to the market, we have their first product in the market, awarded an award. We won not only the ISPO award itself from a jury, but also the Public Choice Award. So the public, out of all the winners of ISPO, brand new, like our product the most. That was, I think, the first real stepping stone in getting recognition. The next one was we participated in Höhle der Löwen, which is like Shark Tank, only in Germany. That was the biggest visibility we had in media so far.
Mm-hmm.
That same year, in 2015, at the end of 2015, we started an Indiegogo campaign. Indiegogo is crowdfunding. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, they're basically the same. We did it on Indiegogo, and that turned out to be the most successful crowdfunding campaign in Germany so far. Showing us getting exposure to customers or potential customers who are backers, who help to develop the product, who put not only money where their heart is, but also their heart in the product. They helped us in developing the product to what it is right now. And it's a whole range of products. So we have a tank top, we have calf guards, we have short wing, and the suit. The suit consists out of a t-shirt and a short. The tank tops we have delivered to all EU backers with fantastic feedback. And this really helps us in building the app. So when we train, we know how to use it. It's you don't gain so many insights. So doing real usability research, that's something you can do when you have the product out there and people who don't know electromuscle stimulation, who don't know Antelope. They see it for the first time from their, wife. They get it as a present or vice versa. And then we get to know what they want to do with it. And that really helped us in building and developing the app even further and the whole suite, which we are shipping right now.
So at first that means you're a successful crowdfunding campaign that raised a lot of money and then actually delivered the product, which is actually kind of, it feels rare, right? And secondly, you told us it needs to fit tight. Mm-hmm. And the question for me right now is, I just have in mind all the different body shapes. How do you actually make it fit tight for every kind of person out there?
So just to clarify one thing, we have not delivered all products. That's a very it's a process. We delivered all tank tops and all calf guards, and now we're on to the next product category, really developing and improving on the go.
Okay,
that's it. As with a lot of crowdfunding campaigns, that's painful, but it is what it is. We don't sacrifice on quality.
We just talked about hardware is hard, right?
Exactly, hardware is hard. I can sign this with blood. Having said this, you asked about this sizing. How do we do this? We have textile experts. I think this is unique, really, to have an interdisciplinary team. It's not only hardware, firmware, app, it's also textile. And sizing is for wearables very tough because the material changes with all the technique you put in there, the elasticity changes. Mm-hmm. And we came up with a way, so we have 5 shapes for female, 5 shapes for male, or 5 sizes. And this fits almost everybody. Of course, we have some who are not really made for what we do. If you're very tall and very thin, it won't be tight enough. That's a problem. Or especially young girls, 18, 19, 20, who have arms that are just too tiny for our textile. It is what it is. Roughly 95% will fit the right size or will find the right size with our textile.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when I remember rightly, because I've been following you not that closely, but from what I understand, your main operations are here in Frankfurt, even though legally you're headquartered in Nuremberg, Bavaria.
That's right. We founded the company in Nuremberg. We are still based in Nuremberg. very strong relationships to that city. It turned out that with Kai having the EMS studios here, that helped us to iterate faster in the development. That's why we have a lot of the development operations within Frankfurt and now right in wonderful Bahnhofsviertel, which brings me close to Nuremberg as well. So that split is doable. And on further elaborating on what we did. So we did this crowdfunding campaign. We immediately started shipping first products. So we really believe in customer feedback. We want our product to be out there and get feedback. So it's an ongoing process. And from my personal history, I know a lot of rowers. So our first professional backer or user was Marcel Hacker, record Olympic participant, 5 Olympic games he has under his belt, and now the 5th one with our product. I love that guy. He's doing a fantastic job being for so long at that level, and for the last bit, we helped him.
5 Olympic Games, meaning roughly 20 years, and you have to qualify before. And just one more question, how did he do when he trained with your stuff?
Yeah, that's an unfair question. Actually, it's only 16 years, of course. The last Olympic Games in Rio, they didn't qualify for the finals. They were the first time, because then he was not qualifying as a single. That's what he did before. He did a double, and in the double they gave so much that they collapsed in the finish line and didn't make it in the finals. But still, really, kudos to what he achieved. Olympic Games being our first exposure to professional sports, and searching for this or seeking this kind of exposure ever since, to get in front of the toughest users who really don't need it to get a great ass, but they need it to make a living. And relying on Antelope, that again helped us to really notch the development up a little bit, and always really on a daily basis looking for ways to improve the product, to make it mass producible and scale. And our scale brings us to Kai. We as a company qualified for the German Accelerator. That's a program of the Bundesregierung helping German startups to enter the American market.
And for everybody who's curious and is watching this on YouTube, we'll put a link with the director of the German Accelerator program into the show notes. We did it as part of our participation of the event here in Frankfurt, because the award ceremony is every half year, I do believe, in another city. And at one point they've been in Frankfurt, and we did use 3 people to corner him, so he had to give us an interview. You find it on the show notes.
That's really a fantastic program. We learned a lot on how to scale or how Americans do business, and we can learn a lot. The one thing that we took advantage of is their cooperation with Stanford and the Stanford Accelerator StartX. So we were one of the first non-Stanford companies qualifying for that accelerator. That is going on this summer. Kai is right there in Silicon Valley at the moment, getting really the most out of it, and again helping us to sharpen the business model, the business case on why are we here? What do we do? So this is really, the clearer I think the vision is, the easier it is to align people and get to what this goal.
I would have one more question concerning that. What you're doing, when you're going to do and ship the suit?
We are shipping the suit as we speak. We're just not finished.
Okay.
So, and the finish line to have the last backer with our suit, which we really want. We want people to have our suit. That's what we strive for. We want people to train with it, but we rely on certifications, on approval to enter a certain market. And we have backers from basically all over the world. So this will take a while to get the necessary qualifications, certifications. We are in that process. We are doing our very best, putting a lot of resources behind it. But we cannot promise a certain date.
I do believe the certifications are there for because like there's a electricity applied to your body and you want to have um, the right certifications to be permitted to sell it in the respective countries. And now I would be curious which one of them appears to you like the toughest right now. I do believe at first you went for the European Union, Germany, and then for the US, and then
So we have clearance for EU that we did immediately, all necessary tests. And there's, to my knowledge, every single country on earth, if you have an electronic product, you need some kind of certification. And if it's only the certification that you are who you are, and you have to show that and be reliable and have to sign on the product, that's one thing. So we haven't really found out which is the toughest. Japan and Brazil seem to be very tough because they see medical always, they see electromuscle stimulation as medical, making certain that we have to, that's what I think right now, to claim on the claims that we do with our product, we have to be, even if we don't claim that there's a medical benefit, we still have to prove that if somebody uses this for it, it has to have that medical benefit, which is complicated, but we will get there eventually.
So all the backers out there in Japan and Brazil, they're working on it. Can you give us a number how many suits you already shipped in the European Union?
We shipped quite a few. I cannot give you specific numbers. Too many people are waiting for that number.
I tried.
It's a significant amount of suits we did. We are just on the verge or urge to from not homemade, but from hand manufactured to proto industrialization to mass industrialization, and really facing the challenges along the way. So the processes have to be more strict, more rigid. The further you go into industrialization, before that you have engineers who see something and immediately know what to do. And the further you go down the line, it's at the end it's a machine or somebody not very educated in putting things together. And so you have to put more effort into describing exactly what somebody should do. And we are at that process right now.
Can you at least give us something like 2-digit, 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit number?
The improvements you will see in your training are at least 6 digits.
Okay. Just 2 more questions I would have right now. Since you're on the verge of industrializing your product, getting it ready for mass production, which was by now, I think 2.5 years away so far.
We started the campaign at the end of 2015 and promised backers that we will start the very first shipments in 2016, which we did. We probably in the communication, we were overly optimistic in when we are finished with the whole process. That took us a while. So the longest somebody is waiting from the time he thought she would get her product is 1.5 years. And we are very positive in that this won't go on forever. But again, we don't want to make any promises anymore. When something will come, we will only report after the fact that we have shipped a certain product or did an improvement on the product, on the app, which we are doing really constantly.
Okay, since you're on this verge, are you right now looking for external capital? We know there's a lot of VCs, business angels watching our programs.
We are not so much looking for capital. We are looking for you. If you're listening, come apply with us. We need all the help we can get in engineering and scaling, and especially now moving from a research and development company. I think that we have signed off. We have a fantastic product. Now it's more about mass industrialization and marketing. marketing being online for us as a startup. So we are actively seeking talent in online marketing, in web development, and building a platform. That's what we want to do.
And the last question, the curveball I usually like to give is, if you could describe your life either as a book or as a movie title or a mixture of both, what would it be and why?
Okay, that's a tough one. So since a book has a beginning and an end, movie title as well, I would rather see myself as a ball. And right now the ball has shifted in a way that we are looking at one side of this ball. And I think it doesn't really bring out different qualities. It just shows you in a different angle of what you are doing right now. And it's, for one, it's really exciting to build a new product category, basically, with this amazing team. It's quite a ride in onboarding. We have, out of roughly 24 people involved, we have 15 nationalities. So that's really fantastic. Some of them speak a language I have no idea what it is, so we communicate via Google Translate, because they don't speak any other language that I know. And that is really, brings a lot back from experience to other cultures, and rather kind of inventing your own culture. So when my kids describe what I do to other kids,
Okay.
they say I'm inventing stuff, which is true in a way, but I think it's rather the process of building new products. Then of course the ideas for the new products are teamwork, and the technical expertise is with my team. I'm rather the one removing hurdles so everybody can live to their potential and beyond, because we're Antelope.
That have been all of my questions. So now the important question, did we forget any important aspect from your side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to tell you, we are selling our product as well. Every category we have shipped to Indiegogo backers, immediately afterwards, it goes onto our online shop, antelope.club. So you can buy and try it yourselves. If you're in Frankfurt, or we're expanding this around, we do Love the Burn events where you can try and work with our product. It's an amazing experience. If you have not tried EMS before, it feels like a contracted muscle being hit by a massage jet out of a shower and working out at the same time. It's exhausting. It will give you in 20 minutes the feeling of a whole gym workout while you do the sport that you love doing. You go out running, you play soccer, you play tennis. So this is really what we believe people should do. Go out, do sport that you love doing, but get the benefits, the health benefits out of a condition and resistance workout. You can buy and look at all of us at the stuff that we do at antelope.club. So please have a look.
And this short advertisement was brought to you by the Antelopes. Great. Thank you very much for the interview.
Jörn, thank you.